Hi, I'm David Fleming from the Disciples Ignited YouTube channel, where we are focused on Jesus, advancing his kingdom, and preparing his disciples. Now today we're going to continue our study on the book of Nahum, which is only 3 chapters long, but they are such powerful chapters. They are God's declaration that he is sending judgment against the Assyrian Empire. Now, what makes this prophecy so very interesting is the fact that when God gave it to Nahum to declare to the Assyrian Empire was at the very height of their power and world dominance. I mean, it seemed like this prophecy could never come to pass, but it did. Now, I think it'd be helpful for us to back up just a little bit and look at some of the history between the Assyrian Empire and God's people in the kingdom of Judah and the kingdom of Israel. Now, 100 years before Nahum was even born, in 760 BC, the Lord called Jonah to go to Nineveh and to give them a declaration that judgment was coming against them. Now we know that Jonah did go to Nineveh, but instead of judgment breaking out, revival broke out. What happened? Well, Nineveh preached that God's judgment was coming against the people of Nineveh and against the Assyrian Empire. They repented, and God relented from sending judgment at that time and instead sent revival. Well, thank God for his mercy. Thank God for his love. 30 years, though, after that, we see that the effects of the revival have unfortunately just worn off. And the people of the Assyrian Empire, especially the people of Nineveh, they have turned back to their old ways. They have become cruel and sinful, rebellious against the Lord. And now the entire Assyrian Empire comes against the kingdom of Israel, attacks Samaria, the capital city of the kingdom of Israel, destroys it, and takes the 10 tribes of Israel into exile. Now, the Assyrians, after that, tried to capture Jerusalem, the capital city of the kingdom of Judah, only 20 years after they had destroyed Samaria, but the Lord intervened, thank God. Now, by 660 BC, the Assyrian Empire had reached the peak of its power. They were world dominance at that time, and that was when Nahum was raised up by the Lord as a prophet of the Lord with this prophetic declaration of God's judgment against the Assyrian Empire. This happened during Ashurbanipal's reign of the Assyrian Empire, and he was the one that brought them into world dominance. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Nineveh as the capital city of the Assyrian Empire. Nineveh was a city like none other. The walls of Nineveh were 100 feet high, which was, untold of cities back then. But on top of that, they would have these towers built on top of the wall that raised it up even 100 more feet so that they could see for miles around of any armies that would be coming against them. There was a moat around the city, 150 feet wide and 60 feet deep. So any armies that came against the city, they just thought there's no way that anybody is going to be successful in attacking us. Nineveh seemed impregnable. They seemed that they were unconquerable. And on top of all that, they had 20 years of food and supplies to hold them over if any armies did come up against them. And that's when God spoke and said, Nineveh, your rebellion is now going to be dealt with. Listen to this. Nahum's description of Nineveh's destruction was very vivid. The crack of the whip and the rumble of the wheel, galloping horse and bounding chariot, horsemen charging, flashing sword and glittering spear, host of slain, heaps of corpses, dead bodies without end. They stumble over their bodies. That was the judgment that God was sending. We'll talk more about it tomorrow.